Okay, this is going to be the demonstration of annotative dimensions. Okay, so we're going to start a fresh AutoCAD file. We're going to open a new one using the AutoCAD supplied architectural imperial template. It's a DWT file. All that does is set our units to be imperial for us. Okay, we're going to give ourselves an object that we want to dimension. So the first thing I'm going to do on the Home tab is just draw a rectangle which is representing a table. I'm going to give the first point, do D for dimensions, 3 feet in the X direction and 5 feet in the Y direction, and place it there. Okay, there's my table. Next thing I'm going to do is create an annotative dimension style. So go to the Annotative tab, go over to the little angled arrow, get the Dimension Style Manager, and you can see there's already one there, so let's use that one and just make it good for architectural drawings. Click on it and say Modify. We're going to start on the tabs here. We're going to go with lines, and I like to make everything by layer so that as I place dimensions on a certain layer, it's going to come up with that color. Okay, the baseline spacing, a good one for an imperial drawing, is 1/8 of an inch. That's in paper space. So same here, make these things all 1/8. And extension beyond dim lines, that's good, make it all 1/8. It's just a good one to use. Offset from origin, 1/8. Okay, so what you're doing here should be happening up here in this little screen. Next thing, symbols and arrows. Let's not use arrows, that's not architectural, so we're going to use ticks. That looks good. Arrow size, just leave it the way it is. Everything else is pretty good. Let's go to text. We're just going to use a note type text. Text color by layer. We'll do the text height in a minute. Text placement vertical, we want it above the line, so it goes like that. Horizontal, centered, everything's good, and we don't like this kind of dimension text. We like it to be aligned with the dimension line. The one thing you'll notice here is there's not a little extension line, so let's go back to the lines and make that 1/8 as well. Okay, the next one is fit. This is all good, just make sure it says annotative there. And then the primary units. We want this to be an imperial drawing, so we need architectural unit format. Precision, 1/8 is pretty good. I wouldn't go any more than that. Fractions, if you like them stacked like that, that's okay, but I'm going to pick diagonal for mine. And that's about it for that one. So you can say, okay, set it as your current dimension style and close. Okay, if you look down at the bottom here, the annotation scale for this drawing is 1 foot equals 1 inch. Just leave it at that. Let's pick the dimension, linear dimension style, and dimension the end of the table and the side of the table. And it looks really ridiculous right now. There is text there and you can't see it. Okay, I hit escape quite often when I need to get out of any kind of a command. Okay. Now, over in your layout space, I'm just going to delete that viewport. I'm going to create this sheet as if it needed 2 viewports. So I'm going to go to the View tab, over to New, and pick 2 vertical. Say OK, and it just wants to know bottom left and upper right of the sheet, and it splits it into 2 viewports for you. I'm going to just double click inside this one so you can see there's the table with the dimensions, and this one. No particular scale right now. Okay. I'm going to set the viewport scale on the left side to be 1/8 of an inch equals a foot, and the viewport scale on the right hand side to be 1/4. So this table should be twice the size of that. The whole idea about annotative text is you want it to display the same. Oh, one more thing. See 3 feet? It should say 3'0" if you're doing a set of working drawings. So we're just going to go back and modify that dimension style. Go find it, pick modify, and that would be in the text. No, it isn't. it is right here under primary units. We want to suppress 0 feet, but we don't want to suppress 0 inches. So you say OK, and now you get 0 inches there. Okay, so far so good. It just happens to look perfect. The text, no matter what the scale is, should always be the same size in your viewports. When you print it on a piece of paper, most people can read 1/8 inch paper, and that's, or 1/8 inch high text. That's what those two things are. What you have to do, if you haven't done it, is you go to your model space. You set the annotative scale down here to 1/8, and look at your scale list and see if 1/8 is in here. If it's not there, then you need to add it and find it. And if it is, then it's okay. The reason mine is I've got these two little things down here, both yellow. Okay, one says show annotative objects for all the scales, which is why my scale list shows everything. The other one is a lightning bolt, which automatically adds scales to the annotative objects when the annotation scale changes. So if I change this to 1/4 inch, it's being added. So that's good. Just make sure you put 1/8 down here and 1/4, because you know those are the two style viewport scales you're going to have. Okay, if I wanted to add one more dimension on here, and I don't want it to appear in the 1/8 inch viewport, just the 1/4 inch, I'm right here, 1/4 inch. Take the dimension, and I don't know, let's just say we wanted to dimension that. I know it's already up there, but we'll just do this. We don't want that 3 feet to show at 1/8 inch scale. I'll show you why. Go to Layout, and there it is. Okay, because we didn't want it to show in the 1/8 inch, it's perfect over here in the 1/4 inch, but for 1/8 it's the wrong size. So all you have to do in layout space, when you have dimensions that you don't want to show at certain scales, for instance this one, which is 1/4 inch, you click on the left hand one that says annotation visibility, show annotative objects for the current scale only, and over on your other model space it was only set for 1/4 inch. Okay, that's how you make an annotative dimension style. Same with annotative text, annotative patterns, hatches, and you just need to set your viewports and these little buttons down here.